Hey there, my name is Caitlin, and today we're going to be talking about both positive and negative reinforcement and punishment. What's the difference? Truly, there is a big difference between all of them. So, in this training, we're going to talk about it and hopefully dive a little bit deeper and broaden your understanding of the terms and the systems. So, before we hop in, I do want to give you a reminder that throughout this presentation, there are going to be two passcodes. You're going to use those passcodes and write them down on a piece of paper or on a note on your phone. I know that at the time when you're watching this, you'll probably have a paper that you're going to be filling out either during the video or after the video. So write those passcodes down on there and we are going to go ahead and get started. So first, what is reinforcement? So reinforcement is an event following a behavior that will increase, that's the key word, increase the future frequency of that behavior happening again. Reinforcement means that you're increasing a behavior. We can have both positive and negative reinforcement, which I feel like is like mind blowing because typically you think, oh, it's just positive reinforcement. Like negative reinforcement, I feel like never enters the chat. You know what I mean? But you can have both positive and negative reinforcement, which is super cool. Now we're going to talk about punishment. So punishment is an event following a behavior that decreases. Keyword in punishment, decreases the future frequency of that behavior occurring again. So punishment will decrease a behavior. Spoiler alert, if you didn't already catch this again, we can have both positive and negative punishment as well. Again, typically I feel like our brains go into negative punishment, but you can have positive punishment, which is pretty wild. So let's dive in and learn some more about positive and negative reinforcement and positive and negative punishment. Just as a refresher, positive means that something is being added. Positive, added. I think of it as just like a positive addition sign. You're adding. Negative means something is being removed. Those are the easiest ways that it helps me differentiate between something being positive and negative. Keep that into consideration when we start getting into the next couple of slides because it's going to make your world 10 times easier, I promise. So we have positive and negative reinforcement. So examples of positive reinforcement. Remember, positive means something is being added. Verbal praise, money, like your paycheck, snacks, stickers, token systems. Going over to the negative reinforcement, remember, negative means something is being taken away. So negative, noise canceling headphones, medicine to take away the pain, sunscreen to avoid a sunburn. Those are all examples of both positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. Oh, these are some more examples of positive reinforcement. I really enjoyed coming up with these because I think that sometimes it can be hard to take ABA terminology. It's easy to think about them in terms of our clients, but being able to apply them into your everyday life, I feel like makes it a little bit easier and a little bit more understandable. So, hey there, it is future Caitlin hopping in because I totally forgot to put the passwords in for this training. I apologize. So for your first password, it is going to be beautiful. Go ahead and write that down on a piece of paper and save it for later or put it on the worksheet that you're working on now. First passcode for this training is beautiful. Okay, so let's look at our first example. A woman eats one chip. The chip tastes really delicious. The woman eats more chips. So eating that one chip, adding in that positive reinforcement, it tastes really great. That's the reinforcer. It's going to increase the likelihood that she's going to keep eating more chips, whether it's at that point in time or maybe tomorrow. Next, a girl brushes her hair in the morning before school. That's the behavior. And then receives a compliment at school about her hair. The compliment is adding as a reinforcer, a positive reinforcer. And then she brushes her hair more often in the future. So it's increasing that behavior. Last but not least, the family dog walks into a kitchen, and whenever someone is cooking, the family members occasionally give the dog a piece of food. They're adding in the piece of food, which is going to increase the likelihood that that dog is going to be going into the kitchen when someone is cooking. So those are all examples of positive reinforcement. Now let's look at negative reinforcement. Remember, negative reinforcement is when you are taking something away. It's going to still increase the behavior, but something is being removed. So let's look at these examples. A teenage boy realizes he smells after gym class. So he grabs some deodorant, puts it on. It's great. The smell goes away. So putting on that deodorant is taking away the smell, which is increasing the likelihood that he's going to keep wearing deodorant because he's not going to smell anymore. Next, the teacher asks her classroom to be quiet, which is the behavior. The kids are getting quiet. The children stop talking and look at the teacher. The act of the children not talking anymore is reinforcing the teacher to be able to tell them to be quiet more often because she knows it's going to work. So it's increasing her behavior of telling them to be quiet because it is being reinforced by the silence. Last example of negative reinforcement, a woman is stopped at a stoplight behind another car that is not moved once the light turns green. I know we've all been in this situation. She honks her horn and the car in front of her starts to move. So the car moving is negative reinforcement. That means that she is more likely to honk the horn next time that she's behind somebody because she knows it's going to get them to move. Positive and negative punishment. Remember, punishment is decreasing the likelihood of a behavior occurring again in the future. Positive punishment examples would be spanking. Remember, positive, you're adding. Spanking, reprimands, touching a hot stove, or even spraying a cat with a water bottle. I'm very familiar with that one. Negative punishment. Remember, negative is taking something away. So it could be a toy or activity being taken away, being put in timeout, getting grounded, or even any type of response cost system where, okay, well, if you're going to hit me one more time, we're going to take a token away. Or if a child is earning money, next time you yell at me, we're going to lose $1. That's an example of a response cost procedure. Surprise, it's me again. Like I said earlier, forgot to put the passcodes in here, but let's go ahead and get your second passcode for this training. The second one is going to be powerful. Powerful is your second passcode for this training. Okay, so let's look at some examples of positive punishment. Remember, positive, something is being added. Punishment, meaning it's going to decrease the likelihood of the behavior happening again. First example, a dog begins to bark at the door when the doorbell rings. The owner yells, "Stop barking." The likelihood of that dog barking at the door again decreases because of the addition of the owner saying, "Stop barking." For our next example, a girl does not do her chores that her dad asks her to do. The dad makes her do 2 additional chores. Our next one, a nurse forgot to check on her patient. The doctor realizes this and then gives her a written warning. So all of those examples, something is being added in that's going to decrease that behavior happening again in the future. Now we have some more examples of negative punishment. Remember, negative being something being taken away, punishment being decreasing the future frequency of that behavior happening again. First example, an employee arrives late to work every day of the month. HR fires the employee at the end of the month. Pretty self-explanatory. The next one, a teenager goes over on their data usage on their phone. The mom takes away the phone until further notice. With both of those examples, something is being taken away and it's decreasing the likelihood of, for the last example, of the girl going over her data usage because she doesn't want to lose her phone again. And just like that, we are at the end of our presentation. Remember to write down your passcodes for this training. And also, as always, look back in your manual if you have any more questions. There's so much information in there. Make sure you ask for help as well. Do not be afraid to ask because we are always here to help. And we are just wanting you to become the best version of yourself that you possibly can be. Again, I appreciate you watching this training and have a wonderful rest of your day.